Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day with a fan on in the window, door cracked, and fans on outside. It's supposed to rain today, be slightly cooler, but I overheat so easily. Hopefully it's good weather where you are. We know the climate ain't great, but still, hopefully you've got good weather, which is local, so thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, oh boy, it has been a day and a half, because today has just started. I have to talk about yesterday too. Yeah, I have been dealing with extra depression lately, where as soon as I start hitting the afternoon, later afternoon, closer towards 6 o'clock, I start getting hit with, at first, like melancholy, where I'm not really depressed, I'm just starting to get sad about stuff. And then I start to get really sad, and then I hit mega depression as the night goes by, leaving me just, on top of everything else, with my housing situation, with my neck situation, and my spinal stenosis. On top of all of that, I've got all this extra depression piling on. So I've wanted to think of creative stuff, and there is not much room up here for anything creative. Plus the depression. Well, depression lies to you. One of the big things that my therapist tries to tell me. And it's true, I have been able to internalize it, but I also have biochemical depression, which is not just, negative thoughts and such. It's, well, my biochemistry has caused this sort of thing to happen. You can't use positive thoughts to change actual physical things happening. So I have been dealing with that, and the depression that lies always tells you things are, well, worse than they are. Right now, my depression is telling me that everybody hates everything that I am doing that is creative. All of my inside, outside, razor's edge stuff, nobody wants to hear me talk about it because it's boring and awful. So, on top of everything, I've got the feelings of nobody wants to hear me talk about any of my creative stuff ever because it's just boring and awful, which I know, isn't exactly false. I mean, I'm not like a famous person who's talking to a huge audience about my famous setting. No, I'm just some older guy who's worried about his health and stuff, who wanted to be a famous writer, but then because of their conditions was never able to do so, and is now exploring their creativity in the hopes of being able to do something, but isn't going to beat themselves up if they can't. That's the kind of person I am now. But right now, the depression is especially telling me, nobody cares, keep your yap shut, this stuff you're doing is boring and awful. Which again, while partly true because I'm just a nobody, on the other hand, isn't, because there are people that do enjoy. There are people that don't think it's boring and awful. May not think it's wonderful, but don't think it's at least boring and awful. Depression is lying to me. It may not be too far off, but it is lying to me with what it says. But that's what happens. When you are depressed, when you are in any different frame of mind, you are putting on a different pair of glasses. You are taking off your I'm thinking clearly and normally glasses, and you're putting on another pair of, in my case, it's depression glasses. Depression glasses, or any sort of glasses, when you look through them, they lead you to a certain conclusion. Depression glasses tell you that everything is awful and nothing is good. But when you're looking through the depression glasses, 9/10 of that equation is a part of the glasses. So your 1/10 of a contribution of you added to that makes up the everything is awful sum of the equation. But that's not true. You take the glasses off and 9/10 of that equation is gone. But that's the same with everything. When you are happy, you're wearing happiness glasses. You're not thinking clearly. You're thinking pleasantly, but you're not thinking clearly. You're wearing your happiness glasses, which is 9/10 of it's provided by the glasses and not the rest of the world. So that's not a bad thing. It's just you got to remember you're not thinking clearly. It's not necessarily a negative thing that you're thinking. It's just not clear. So thumbs up for that. But yeah, those depression glasses, I haven't been able to take them off. They slide up during the first part of the day, but they keep falling down, and they're hard to tell when they fall down. You don't notice it when you're looking. Oh, my upper lip is itchy. You don't notice it when you're looking, and you only realize it when you start feeling that, oh gosh, everything is awful and terrible. Wait a minute, whoop, and then you push them back up again for a while. So that's what I'm dealing with in all of this. So I do want to think about creative things. I do want to talk about the creative stuff. The depression is telling me it's all boring and awful and to keep my yap shut. I have been thinking about a lot of things. I have been trying to refine things I have thought of. I've been trying to remember details so I don't forget them. Especially with all this going on, it's driving everything out of my head. Because, oh boy, yeah, I gotta get everything of my stuff gone through, boxed up, most of it thrown out, stuff that I'm never going to use again, and don't just want to keep for whatever reason, just to have in a closet where I'm never going to look at it again. So I gotta go through all my stuff and throw stuff out and keep the stuff that I want to keep in boxes and prepare to move, because it's going to happen at the very least. If it doesn't happen before, it will happen September 30th when our lease runs out and we are not signing it again, because my housemates are, while they are my housemates, their stuff is here and all that, they have not been staying here. So, thumbs up for that. They may be coming in later this week, so it's hard to say. To stay a day or two, do some stuff like that, but past that, it's just a lonely place as I continue getting ready to go. So that, along with this, where again, while somebody in the comments was able to give further details on the situation with their grandmother, so the situation with their grandmother isn't exactly the same as my situation. My situation is still that this is going to get worse. It's never going to get better. I can only control symptoms, but it is going to keep happening. It's going to keep getting tighter and tighter where the nerves come out on either side. This is going to keep being irritated all the time and just get worse as time goes by. This side is eventually going to start having awful stuff happening. And whether I die of other things beforehand or this causes issues, it will keep getting worse and could end up causing major health problems with the compression around my actual spine. And I'm only going to get older, and I am relatively young for being in a developed nation. I mean, for the less developed nations, yeah, 60 may or may not be considered older or younger. I mean, you have to take into effect economic conditions and the actual country you're in. The bad part of that, of course, is I'm in the United States, and our healthcare system is just a mess. I mean, I know that at some point I'm going to have surgery, and as I get older I'm going to become less and less a candidate for it, but I can't pay for surgery. Will the place, the hospital, do $60, $70, $100,000 worth of surgery on my neck when I'm disabled and have no real income? Or will it be well, let's just manage your symptoms for the rest of your life sort of thing? I don't know. And that's great, so I gotta call and talk to doctors and stuff. But even at that, I don't know where I'm gonna live. I might be living in Shelton, where I live right now, when I lose my house here. Or depending on what the VA can do for me, I may end up in another city entirely, in which case I'll have to go talk to different doctors and likely start the whole process over again. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. But yeah, I'm relatively young now, and so a not bad candidate for surgery. That's only going to get worse as I get older, as I become less and less a candidate for surgery. And I am going to become more and more needing surgery as I get older. Again, with the possibility that it ain't going to happen at all. So, yeah, I got to talk this over with people, but I don't really have anybody to talk it over with in meat space, IRL, face to face. I don't have anyone. There's no one to talk to. So I'm kind of losing my mind up here. Yay. So there are other things. I don't just want to fixate on that. There was something I wanted to talk about while I was looking over there for a moment, but darned if I can remember what that was. Driven out of my head by everything I'm talking about up here. Talking about that's going on up here, and here, and here. So, yay on that. But still, I am trying my best to not go down the absolute pit of depression and despair. But I just remembered. I have been talking about the possibility of losing my Social Security. I have had a couple people in comments ask me, well, why would you lose it? What are your odds of losing it? Okay, the only reason that I'm really worried about losing my Social Security disability is, number one, I live in the United States. And this is government money. And in the United States, the GOP is always trying to do their best to take that 0.5% of money that goes to social safety nets and turn that into 0% of social safety nets. That 0.5% keeps getting smaller and smaller all the time as their requirements for being disabled get tighter and tighter. They are under a federal incentive to kick people off of disability. So, I know I can't work because of physical and mental conditions. What they call unable to work might be something that I can't do, but they say, yes, you can. In which case, they say I can work, even though I can't. In which case, boom, I'm off the rolls, I'm on the streets, unable to work, no money, and that's it. And of course, that's just a part of, even without the whole incentive to kick people off, their ideas of what is able to work, even if they don't have that incentive to kick me off, their lists of what is okay to work are different. I can only stand for like 20 minutes before I have to sit down, and I have to sit down in specialized chairs. The only thing that they would say is, okay, the place that you has to work, you will work in, has to give you a chair like every 4 to 6 hours. Because if I'm off those rolls, then I'm not going to be working that way. And even if I am, if I can't do what they want, then I'm off. Because by their standards, yes, I can, even though I can't. So that's why I worry. And then also I worry because that's just the way I am. I have generalized anxiety that has gotten worse as I've gotten older. I worry over things. I don't want to, I don't mean to, I don't like to, but it's something that my head does. And so, my head also likes to build the worst possible scenarios around that, and with the depression, decide that those worst possible scenarios are the only thing that can possibly happen. And so, every time I talk about it, it's only because my brain is absolutely convinced that I'm going to be kicked off. At the same time as I have said all these negative things, while they do have lists, and there is a possible incentive because they only have so much budget, they're not out to get ya. They may have to follow rules and lists and manuals and all this, but they aren't specifically out to get ya. So the people that I talk to will be following the rules and regs, but they're not deliberately going, well, I hate you, I'm going to stab you in the back. No. It's just they're doing their job the way they have to do their job. But here and all this fun stuff, so my head, of course, concocts the absolute worst thing that can happen, is convinced that that's the only thing that can happen. That's what I'm dealing with. What are the actual odds that I'm going to get kicked off of disability? I don't know. But at the same time, I can't imagine they're absolutely huge, because I got this going on. Even if I do, I can go and make an appeal to say, hey, look at all this stuff with this stuff going on. Hey, let's take another look. So with everything going on, I'm probably fine. I've had to do paperwork over the years since I first was labeled as disabled back in 2005. And I'm still on the list and still being helped, so that's good. Because I can't work, especially with this going on here. Oy vey. Yay. Past that, though, doing my very best to survive and do the stuff I can. Trying to play games as best I can to keep myself distracted from everything that's going on. And not really doing a good job of that. Been playing the game Fate by Wild Tangent. Absolutely ancient game. But they're cheap and they're fun. And so if you like just mindless dungeon crawling, they're good. Look up the Fate series by Wild Tangent. You can get them off of Wild Tangent or Steam, and they're enjoyable. So thumbs up for that. But otherwise, just been watching videos and trying not to fall asleep. I especially didn't sleep well last night, so yeah, I'm really tired again today. So I'm just going to be spending my time today trying to stay distracted, calling up Social Security to make sure they got my paperwork. Since I tried calling them last Friday, and my phone, landline, it ran out of power, and so I used my cell phone, and it's just a cheap flip phone, and it ran out of power. So hopefully I'll be able to get through to them today. That would be a good thing. Past that, hopefully you too are going to have as good a day as you can. If you can't, don't beat yourself up, of course. Here, I would really like to thank everybody that is one of my Patreon patrons. I wish I could have updated it again today. I did not sleep well. This arm of mine is just hurting today. So, even though I didn't change the list, thank you, each one of my Patreon patrons. Thank you, everybody who has, in the past, donated to my PayPal. And thank you, each and every one of you has donated to my GoFundMe to help me out with this upcoming freight train of a move, rushing at me at 200 miles an hour. It is appreciated. Now I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. And if I mispronounce the username, don't disrespect as intended. Oy vey. And even though I'll be counting with the fingers of this hand, I'm not really paying attention to it. It's just something to keep my own brain distracted as I do this. So let me expand my text. That did not sound right, but still. We have Chris Ryan, thumbs up and thank you. And Sister Judith, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. And oh boy, those older games were just ouch. And Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments. Thumbs up, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. And then we have the Versian. I am not sure how that is exactly pronounced, but thank you very, very much. And really, the pig and the cat is where everyone has to go through, huh? I like that. And then there is BOTEDEBASURA, thumbs up and thank you, I hope. There's Mighty Saw spelled with a couple digits instead of vowels, thumbs up. And then there is Pop Biased, I sure hope I'm close. Thumbs up and thank you. There is Donkawan, greatly appreciated. We also have Vicinator. Thumbs up and thank you very much for the clarification and information. There, the real one. Hopefully, the answers that I talked about today in my video have answered questions that you and others have had about my actual SSI. So here's a hoping. And then we have Total Not Kia, greatly appreciated, and that is it. Thumbs up and thank you, each and every one of you, for having left me comments. It is appreciated. Thumbs up. Well, hokey smokes, once again, I'm just going to do my best to survive. Hopefully you're going to do your best to survive. I'm also going to, at 9 o'clock, go down and get my landline and try to call Social Security. So hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done. That would be a very good thing. So until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. In the high contrast area for my hand. Where's the best way? There we go. So, let me turn this on. Okie doke, you take care, and hopefully I'll get something done, recorded for the channel later today, but we shall see what happens.